What up, straight up Tennessee family? It's your boy Ruck in the building today. Happy Wednesday, man. Today we dive into all things Tennessee linebacker crew. New coach there, William Inge. Who is this guy? What is his history? And what is he going to bring to this linebacker room that we may or may not have seen in the last few years of the Heupel era? Also, NCAA football 25 conversation. We're going to start introducing more and more of that into the show as well, because guys, we are so close to finally being back in Neyland virtually on NCAA 25. We're going to talk about it. Your thoughts, my thoughts. I got some thoughts on it, and I can't wait to dive in. So let's get it rocking today on this Wednesday, man. Hope y'all had a great week so far. You already know what it is, man. It's straight up Tennessee, baby. This is the midweek chat. Let's get it.
From 40, on the way, a knuckleball. He got it!
What up, everybody? Welcome to Straight Up Tennessee on the midweek chat. Happy Wednesday, man. Y'all know what to do. It's the top of the show. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification right now, man, so you guys never miss an episode. We're still climbing, guys, still climbing to 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Shout out to my Apple and Spotify listeners, man. Y'all are the homies, the family. Appreciate y'all so much for what you guys do. But it's going to be a great show today, man. We're going to dive right into the linebackers on this 2024 roster. But then we're also, man, we're going to dive into NCAA Football 25, the video game that is coming out here very soon, July 16th, for some of you, like myself, who have pre-ordered and have to play this game before it's supposed to come out. And then for the other people who are not as excited, July 19th. Is when that drop will be. But I can't wait to dive into that piece of today's show to just talk about my thoughts, some of the new things, the new haptics, the new animations, the new small just details that they rolled out last Friday on that last update release that Kirk Herbstreit headed up, I guess you could say. He was kind of the voice on that video. And just from that, I kind of want to dive into some of the little things that I saw, some of the little things that got me excited. And we'll talk more about NCAA, man, for the next few weeks as it continues to lead up to the release. So hope y'all been good, man. I miss y'all. It's going to be a fire show today, man. Let's dive in. Tennessee linebackers. Coach William Inge hired in this year. What to expect from Inge? You know, Inge has had a lot of guys in his track record, right? As far as guys who have been a part of his rosters, been a part of his team. You know, Heupel wouldn't hire somebody that he didn't think could come in and make this position group better. Brian Jean-Marie leaving for Michigan, I don't think it was a coincidence, but it kind of was like okay, so you will leave for what you may think is better, but he's an up north kind of guy. It made sense, right? But I think Heupel with this hire really went with his gut, and I'm very excited to see what Inge can do with the guys we have. But then also, let's look at 2025. Let's look down the road at the guys that are coming into the program. How can he develop them? How can he get these guys ready to go when it comes to Saturday? Can they be ready as freshmen? Well, I mean, we're going to find out. Jeremiah Thielander is going to play a lot this year as a sophomore. Arion Carter is going to play a lot as a sophomore. Caleb Perry, now a rising junior, he's going to play a lot this year. With Elijah Herring leaving, Keenan Peely is back. It's an exciting group because we never saw what Keenan could do for, 12, 13 games. We never saw that. We saw one game where he was an absolute stud and got hurt. And so now we get that opportunity in 24 to see a full length, hopefully, prayers up, man, stay healthy. But we get to see a full year of Keenan Pili in this defense as the leader, as the maestro, the mic, handling everything. William Inge came from Washington. He started his career, I believe, at Northern Iowa in 2001, went to Colorado. He also had stints in Cincinnati in the NFL, Buffalo Bills, Indiana. He was at Indiana Hoosiers, Fresno State before he was just at Washington. And so not only was he a part of that crew that, man, just made a run for Washington, but he was a vital part of that crew. He was with Washington from 2022 till this last stint right now. Obviously, he's now with Tennessee. He was in the college football natty as a linebackers coach. That's got to excite somebody if you are a Vols fan. He's done this for 2 years. 2 years, goodness gracious. He's done this for 20 years. And so he's been the co-defensive coordinator. He's been an assistant defensive coordinator, and now leading back into a position group, being the linebackers here at the University of Tennessee. The development piece is where I'm hoping some things shift for the Tennessee linebacker crew. I'm not worried about Keenan Pili. I'm not really worried about T-Lander or Arion Carter. But all of these other guys that we've now got in, Jalen Smith, redshirt freshman, Spielman. What is Edwin Spielman going to do? Caleb Perry, he's kind of started to make a little bit of noise. Last year he had some clock. But I think your two starters to me is going to be Jeremiah T-Lander and Keenan Pili. That's why I think T-Lander worked his tail off in the offseason. He played a lot of football last year because when Arion Carter got hurt in the back half of the year, T-Lander had to come in and make plays in that moment. And so he did that. I think in the spring, you saw T-Lander be the guy who was getting first-team reps. Keenan Pili didn't play in the orange and white game. Why would he? Doesn't need to prove anything. We know what he can do, and we're excited to see what he can do again for 12 to 13 games. We don't need half a year. We need 13 boys, 15. That's what we need to get him in there. Now with the college football playoff, we need 15 dubs to get that boy in there. So we need Pili for the whole time. So, but obviously now, what does the rotation look like? You lose a guy like Elijah Herring, right? 79 tackles last year, leading tackler on the team. But was terrible in coverage. Like, we can just say that Elijah Herring was not good in coverage. His brother, Caleb, is a defensive lineman, which we'll be talking about next week. He stayed here. And I think Caleb Herring is going to play, but Elijah was not very good in coverage. He made tackles because I feel like he had to be at the right place at the right time. And he got to capitalize on being in the right place at the right time. Now, as far as when we say, hey, Elijah, drop back into a cover 2 or a cover 3, he get lost. He was lost a lot on the field in coverage. And so now with William Inge, I'm hoping that because Washington saw a ton of air raid offenses last year in the Pac-12, I hope that crew now can hone in on, hey, this is the zone I'm in 2. Here's the zone I'm in 3. Hey, they're in 12 right now. What do I need to do? Do I need to fill A gap? Do I need to go B gap? Do I need to be on a spot? Like, can we now get to the lingo where these guys can start to understand their position rather than just play their position? That is where I'm excited to see what Coach Inge can bring to this roster and to that position group. I think his experience over time being in the NFL, but then also spending a lot of time in Indiana, but then also obviously being a part of a national championship game last year with Washington, that experience alone can propel a group's confidence to lead in a way that we never have before. I think he's going to bring this type of swagger where they are going to feel as if we learn our cues and we understand exactly what we're doing every single play. I think the development piece in the film room is what's going to propel the group the most. They can play. They're athletes, right? T-Lander is an athlete. Carter's an athlete. Jalen Smith's an athlete. Keenan Pili, athlete. Caleb Perry, athlete. Like, we've got guys to play. But the development piece in the locker room, in the film room, is what will propel this group to the next level. And I hope that they are taking it seriously, because I would say over the last few years, that and the secondary have been the two kind of, I don't know what we're getting groups. Obviously, with Aaron Beasley, a monster, we knew what we were getting in Beasley. But I'm talking about the group as a whole. We did not know what we were getting. And so now I'm hoping that development is happening, that Coach N just made some moves. And I hope to see a much different linebacking crew in 2024. I mean, I think the glut of what we will find out will happen from September 21st, when we go travel to Oklahoma for our first SEC game on the road in a new SEC environment with the Oklahoma Sooners. From that game till really about the Kentucky game on November 5th, it's going to be a grunt for this roster and that group specifically. You're going to get Oklahoma on the 21st. You're going to get a cupcake on the 28th. Then you got to go to Arkansas October 5th. Then you're going to have Florida and Alabama at Neyland Stadium. Florida and Alabama at Neyland Stadium, people. And then you're going to get a bye week, and then you got to play Kentucky. Those 6 games right there are going to be the test for that group, bro. They're going to have to make a lot of plays for us to win. What I'm saying, 5 of those 6. I know that we're going to win. We should win 5 of the 6. Can we win all 6? Absolutely. But it's going to be tough. That's a grunt, bro. That is a gauntlet. That is 6 games in a row where you get hit in the mouth, and we got to come with it. And I think that that group is going to be what kind of hinges on that success in the middle portion of the season, from late September to all of October into early November. Obviously, they say championships are won in November, right? I don't know. For us, it's always October, bro. And especially now, because the Florida game got moved from September to October this year. October 12th, we play Florida at Neyland. And then the next week, we played Alabama at Neyland. You're talking about 2 insane atmospheres back to back, bro. It's about to be nasty. I can't wait. But who do I think is kind of the go-getter, the playmaker for this group? To me, I think it's got to be Keenan Pili. If Keenan Pili can return to who he was before the injury, everybody was talking about Pili. Coaching staff raving about him. In interviews, talking about him, and in their locker room, Keenan was the guy. Can he be healthy again for the whole year? He would be my playmaker. I think he's going to have to be the guy, the leader. But then my other question, or not even my other question, but like my other playmaker or whatever, it's got to be Coach Inge. How does he use this group and rotate them enough to where there's no exhaustion, there's less room for injury, they stay healthy throughout the whole year? Because this is the smallest position group that Tennessee has as far as depth is concerned, of guys that I think can play now. I could be wrong, and I never get on here and tell you that I'm right. I could be wrong, but I really wonder, how is he going to move the pieces, and what will he do to keep everyone healthy throughout the whole year? That's going to be the biggest, in my opinion, that's going to be the biggest thing that kind of propels this team. And I think he's going to be the playmaker as well. So Pili and Inge, to me, are going to be what carries this group to the finish line. So next week, man, we're going to dive more into the Tennessee defensive line. Might be a longer show because I got a lot to say. Coach Rodney Garner has done wonders with this group, and he's just getting started, I believe. So, man, let's dive into this college football 25 deep dive that they did on last Friday. Kirk Herbstreit was kind of heading up the video that explained a lot more about the gameplay and the features and different things that are going on in NCAA 25. And so, like, I want to start with, excuse me, I want to start with the detail of the game. The fact that they have 134 teams, 134 stadiums, 134 playbooks, that in itself lets me know that they needed this game to exceed expectation. And so they had to be so detailed in what they decided to do with this game to have 134 teams. 12 or like there's probably, I think there's 8 to 12 that were not in the game in 2014. I mean, Liberty's in the game now. Jackson State, App State is in the game now. Like a lot of these teams that were not there, Coastal Carolina's in the game now. Like they made it very detailed in the sense to where you feel as if you're playing with Air Force, you're going to run the triple option. If you're at USC, you're going to play the air raid. You're going to throw the ball all over the field. If you're at Georgia Tech, if you're at Army, if you're at Navy, if you're at Penn State, when you freaking third down, it's going crazy. Mo Bamba is going to play. Like, it's going to happen. And so I like the detail that they placed in it already. One of the biggest things that I'm most excited about is the stick work. They explained a lot about how do we capture the wide open gameplay of college football? Wider splits, more like a faster gameplay, right? So they took time. Think about this. This game has been in production since 2023. And I think I'm now understanding why, because of how much detail and different animations and everybody's so worried about it being a reskin of Madden. And I know that it's not based off of just the gameplay itself and what we've seen so far. The hurdles look different. There's no 2-foot animations. Like we got to have 1-foot catch animations because this is college. We only need 1 foot. The fact now that the jukes feel a little bit more loose like college would be. The cuts are going to be a little bit more precise. The way that we hit the hole running the football is going to be a little bit more precise. It's going to unlock a whole different level and excitement to the game that we've never experienced. And so I'm excited about that. One specific thing that they talked about on Friday that had me a little worried, but the more that I started to understand, okay, this is what this is, and this is how this is going to pertain to specific rosters and teams. And for Tennessee, like I'm going to play with Tennessee most of the time because I just understand the roster. I know what we're trying to do. I really do understand the spread offense, how to read the coverages, and it just makes me excited to play with the Vols. But I was worried about the new wear and tear system. They say, based off of how much you're using a guy or how much the guy is being hit, or hey, let's say you just ran a 9 route down the seam and the ball was overthrown. Well, that guy's going to be tired from running, a 25 to 30 yard route where the ball was overthrown. And so substitutions are going to matter so much in this game. Hits are going to matter. How much you're running a guy or throwing to a guy or just throwing the football in itself is going to matter. And so I think it's going to be more reflective of what we see on Saturday. Because, I think about Tennessee. I think when Tennessee's, running a 9 route or a deep post, and that guy doesn't get the ball, when they don't get the ball, they run straight off to the field and they sub a receiver. That's going to happen in the game. That's going to happen in the game. And I'm excited about it. I think that it's going to bring so much excitement because not only is it going to happen in the game, but it's going to provide a different outlet now for people to truly experience what it's like to play on Saturdays. That's amazing to me. And I was nervous at first about it because, dude, you've been playing Madden. You've been playing Madden for years, bro. Like, you can run a dude 6, 7, 8 times in a row and they ain't tired and they're not getting injured. But now you have to look at this differently. Here's the one thing that I think is also great. And obviously, we're going to dive way more into all of the NCAA college football gameplay in more episodes down the road because I'm excited about this. I'm excited, so ready for it. I think the passing game is going to be a little bit easier in some ways, but harder in others, because now the defense actually will react based on your personnel. If you think back to Madden or even NCAA 14, you could get away with someone being in a man, or like, let's say they're in cover one high safety, they're playing man. You could get by with a fly route easy. If they're playing press man, that outside guy is going to get that route. He's going to get open. Well, now, if your best receiver was the guy that you were throwing to, their best corner is going to be on your best receiver. And it's going to be a matchup that is not favorable really for either person. So it's going to truly stretch us now to play smarter. If you're in a cover one, it's one high safety, you got a 9 route on one side, you got a slant, maybe you got a dig, I don't know. You have to now make the right decision when throwing. You can't just say, I know this guy's going to go get it and be open, because now player personnel and ratings matter more than they ever have. With that, it's going to cause the passing game to be easier sometimes, but harder in other instances. And so I'm excited about it. I like the throwing power meter that they talked about, ball placement, love all of that. And I can't wait to on July 9th, 16th, because that's when I'm going to be playing it, not 19th. I'm playing on the 16th. I cannot wait to put the controller in my hand and feel what all of these content creators got to experience last week when playing NCAA 25 legitimately. I'm excited about the crowd noise, the stadium pulse. Bro, I cannot wait to hear it and just see what type of immersive experience that even brings to college football 25. So a lot more that I want to talk about that I don't have a lot of time to talk about, but we'll talk more about it, man, as we keep rolling out shows, talk about what we're more excited about. Guys, July is on the way, and that means that we are almost back to our full schedule, 3 a week. It's going to be a cooking time. My boy Sale will be with me. That boy Austin Turner will be back in the building. It's going to be an amazing summer leading into fall, and August 31st when the Vols play the Chattanooga Mocs right there on Rocky Top. So y'all have a great rest of your week, man. Happy Wednesday. We'll continue to chop it up on all things NCAA. Next week, defensive line, Rodney Garner. What can we expect from this position group in 2024? I love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, share this thing out. We'll see you guys back next week for the defensive line talk. You already know what it is, man. It's Straight Up Tennessee, baby. Your boy Ruck. We signing out. See you next week.